Welcome to this demonstration of Review365, the appraisal app for Office 365 built by Hable. Review365 is an Office 365 app, which means that it is available to users from the app launcher within your Office 365 tenancy, with a single sign-on experience. The Review365 dashboard is divided into three phases, starting with the self-appraisal, which is completed by the appraisee themselves, the appraiser section, to be completed by the manager or supervisor, and finally the moderation phase, during which the appraiser and appraisee are able to compare and discuss the information entered by each other. To initiate the appraisal process, the appraisee clicks on the self-appraisal start link. The app will load the competency grid for the appraisee according to their role, starting with a review of whether the previous year's targets have been met. The appraisee is able to assess their practice from three statements for each competency: whether they require development, whether they are a practitioner, or if they consider themselves to be a lead practitioner. The appropriate statement can be selected by simply clicking on the checkbox. The review progresses by clicking the Save and Next button. For each competency, there are statements to aid the appraisee's judgment of their practice from the three levels. After completing each of the competency statements, the appraisee is able to upload documentation as evidence to support their self-appraisal, and then press Save and Next to continue. The final section contains a number of open questions which give the appraisee an opportunity to reflect on their overall performance through the year in a less rigidly structured format. Press Save and Next to complete and submit this stage of the appraisal. The app will then generate a report of the self-appraisal phase, which can be downloaded for offline use if required. Once a self-appraisal has been completed, the Review365 dashboard presents managers with access to each of the appraisals for which they are responsible, enabling them to immediately view the self-appraisal information or start the appraiser phase directly by clicking on the Start link. In the appraisal phase, the manager is able to review which attainment statement the appraisee has chosen for their previous year's targets, and then make their own judgment by simply clicking on the required checkbox. Any evidence which has been uploaded can be reviewed, and an overall appraiser comment can be added on this screen. For each of the competencies, the manager can clearly see which statement has been selected, and can then add their own judgment of the appraisee's performance by simply clicking on the required checkbox, whether this is in agreement with the appraisee or otherwise. After completing each of the required competency statements, the app will then generate a report of the appraiser phase, which can be downloaded for offline use if required. The Review365 dashboard now enables the manager to initiate the moderation phase by clicking on the Start link. This facilitates a meaningful face-to-face conversation between the appraisee and manager with structured information about the appraisal from both perspectives. Following discussion, each party is able to agree on the appropriate statement for each competency. The moderation phase also includes two extra features: Target and Share. The target option can be set for the appraisee for the forthcoming year for any particular competency, where they are not already a lead practitioner. Where it is judged that the appraisee is a lead practitioner in a particular competency, the Share option can be selected to give that person ownership of sharing their knowledge and skills within the organisation in order to develop collectively. After the moderation phase is complete, both the appraisee and the manager is able to view an overall report, which clearly displays the targets and sharing commitments which have been agreed upon. Any supporting evidence which has been uploaded can also be viewed from within the report. Finally, the agreed statement for each competency is then presented in a format which clearly indicates the performance of the appraisee over the last review cycle, and this can be accessed by both the appraisee and manager from the Review365 dashboard at any time.